Hello guys, welcome back to the channel Triple Carry. It's a bright sunny day and to complement it, we have our bright kinetic yellow. You guys have guessed it right from the title itself. It's a review of our Jimny Alpha manual. So we have been driving it for the past 15-20 days, 300-400 kilometers. We have been loving it. But a lot of my friends and you guys have asked for a review. So that's why we thought of bringing a review. We are very new to reviews. This is my first review on the channel. So please pardon us if we go wrong somewhere. We are going to break this review into three categories. One would be the interior and exterior styling. Second would be the comfort and practicality of the car. And the third, which is the most important, is the engine performance and the drivability of the car. So without wasting time, we will dive right into the review. But before that, subscribe to Triple Carry. First impression when you look at this car from the front, it looks chunky, isn't it? But it's a very narrow car, and tell you what, it's a boon to drive this car in city traffic. Flat bonnet, small windscreen, looks a little boxy. Starting with the front fascia, circular headlamps, and this 5-pillar grille gives you that retro look. But the only departure from the international model, which is a 3-door Jimny, is that this is in chrome. Coming to the bumpers, it gives you this rugged SUV-ish feel. And these are LED headlamps, halogen fog lights and headlamp washers, all part of the top spec Jimny. You don't get it in Sita. Coming to the side of the car, first thing you notice is the structure of the car. Remember, for those eyes who are used to watching the 3-door Jimny, this doesn't look awkwardly elongated, does it? It looks very proportionate, and these muscular wheel arches, they kind of give you a very macho look, but you need to get used to it when you are driving this car in the city, because it does add a lot of centimeters to the overall width of the car. Now, coming to the tires, these are highway spec tires, 15-inch wheels, alloys, because this is again the higher spec version. UV glasses, and they do you a world of good. It really does protect you from a lot of heat. Comes standard with this car. Maruti 800 like door handles, they feel a little outdated, but I'm not complaining. These claddings, they are accessories from Maruti, and they kind of give you this rugged feel. These rain protectors are again accessories that I've got installed from Nexa. The side profile is not that tall. I am 5'7", and the roof sits below my eye line. The other thing which I find amusing is the ground clearance. In spite of having such a short height, it still boasts of 210 meters of ground clearance. So coming to the rear end of the car, a very neatly positioned spare wheel, and it looks really nice. And this is the first Maruti car to ever get a rear mounted spare wheel. 3 tail lamps. The only issue that I have with the rear is the positioning of the tail lamps. It is integrated with the rear bumpers. As per Suzuki, they've integrated these lamps in the bumper because they did not want to do away with the rear space, and so we agree. The only issue is, if you get into a small accident, you might shell out a lot. The rear door opens neatly, but we will get to it later on. It's a very hot and humid day. We are inside the cabin, front seats, and we start with the interior styling. 9-inch touchscreen, which is compatible with Android Auto as well as Apple CarPlay. And my favorite part is I can play videos and watch videos here. Not recommended when you're driving. Steering wheel, it does have cruise control. Again, a feature that you get in the top spec version. And you also get to attend calls and whatnot. I think basic gizmo of a lot of cars today. The instrument cluster, well lit, gives you that retro feel. The switches to operate the car windows are positioned here right below the AC console. The dash feels hard, lacks soft touches, and this passenger side grab rail along with these 4 bolts does render a SUV feel. Now coming to the most talked about topic, the front and second row storage. So if you see, there is practically no storage on the side doors. Volume of the glove box too is below adequate. I have been told that you can keep a mobile here, but I'm not taking that risk. Even in the center, there is a lot of space but no storage as such. You definitely need to explore aftermarket storage options. But hey, you get storage to store your key fob as well as change. Ditto with the driver side door, you don't get to store bottles. However, there are two cup holders in the center and they do a decent job. Let's move to the rear door. The rear door gets a lot of storage. The only storage option at the rear are these pockets on both the seats, but you can barely store a magazine, and that's it. Now, coming to the rear end of the car, you get 208 liters of boot storage, which is enough for triple carry. And if you need more storage, you can fold these seats and get around 100 liters of additional storage. Coming to the comfort of the car. The front two seats, I would say they're really comfortable. Lot of under thigh support. I have a lot of headroom, decent leg room. The only issue that I have is the absence of a dead pedal. You have cruise control, but you don't have a dead pedal. So on a longer haul, it might be an issue. Regarding second row comfort, let's get into the second row. Anindita will give you this review. Who is going to spend most of the time in the second row is going to give her review.
The second row seats are not as comfortable as the front ones. They are rather hard and they lack the under thigh support. You might find the need to buy aftermarket cushion seats to get that comfort. It is a 4-seater car, and as you can see here is a car seat installed, and there is practically no room for the third person. So if you are thinking that 3 people can sit in the second row on a long journey, it's going to be very hectic. Regarding the windows over here, they are smaller than the front window, but the advantage here is so one can stand and literally see everything around.
The front doors are a little bigger than the rear ones. Getting in or out of the car is a breeze, especially in the front row. Second row, not that inconvenient, but it's okay, I would say, as compared to the first row.
Coming to the safety of the car, it comes with 6 airbags and 2 ISOFIX mounts standard across all models.
So coming to the most important part of the review, which is performance and drivability. This is a ball mounted steering as opposed to the rack and pinion steering that modern cars get, and it's a little late. So you do have to oversteer a little. You need to get used to it, I would say. But the added advantage here is with the kind of steering, with the kind of slowness associated with the steering, it gives you more articulations. That can be an added advantage during off-roading. The turning radius, it is around 5.7. I have seldom not reversed a car for taking a U-turn. Coming to the heart of the machine, the engine. So this is a 1.5 liter 4-cylinder K15B engine, which produces around 105 horsepower and 135 Newton meters of torque. Even though the figures are quite decent, it is tuned to deliver off-road performance. Maruti says it is not planning to have the K15C turbo fitted anytime soon, and the reason is Maruti might need to re-engineer because of the placement or the orientation of the K15C, and they did not want to tinker with it. The engine is quiet, the NVH levels are quite low. As you can hear from the cabin, there is no evident noise from the engine. Coming to the gearbox, it is mated to a 5-speed manual. This is the All Grip Pro hardware, which renders all the 4x4 functionality. We will come to that later on because I haven't used it yet. If you notice carefully, the gear knob constantly vibrates. The stick is a little hard to maneuver and the throws are a little longer than usual. The clutch, like I said, it is a little sluggish on the harder side and you need to get used to it. In general, sometimes driving in the city, it gives me the feeling that I'm driving my grandfather's Commander, but all of this adds to the character of the car. But these are some bits that a Jimny fan like me can ignore and can live with. In the city confines, you would love to take this car out because the low end torque is just enough for city traffic, and given the narrow stance, you can just chuck it into every nook and corner. However, when I tried to hit higher speeds, say around 100, what I found was the build-up of the speed was rather slow, I wouldn't say slow, linear, progressive. And coming from a background of driving a Audi Q3, I did not have sky high expectations. The power delivery is linear, so you don't expect this car to hit 0 to 100 in under 5 seconds. To be honest, I had very realistic expectations from the car, and it is delivering. The character of the engine is a little different, but I am very satisfied with how it performs. It is beautifully different. Now coming to the drivability and the handling as well as the driving comfort. When I first took a test drive of this vehicle, I was very surprised and pleasantly surprised. The reason being, it was very sure-footed and it was very comfortable too. Now, as I've driven this for around 300 kilometers, I can definitely say this is a machine that is comfortable. Mind you, this is a ladder frame chassis and this is not a monocoque that urban SUVs or hatches get these days. So I expected a lot of body roll, but it is very well managed. Unlike its competitor, where passengers at the rear seats are kind of flung around side to side, even though it comes as a surprise, but the ride is very well managed, very assuring and very planted. Monsoons are just about to retreat, and around this time the streets of Kolkata are full of potholes. So if you really ask me, I have done some off-roading already and it feels really planted, in the sense that gliding over potholes and speed breakers are a breeze. The suspension duties are managed very well. Now coming to the most important question, why this car and why would somebody buy this car? For me, the answers were very uncomplicated and simple. So I needed a family car with a decent storage. I needed an all-rounder which would do well on highways as well as on city traffic. And there were a lot of boxes that this car ticked for me. And those are kind of fancy, but these are some of the features that is a first for me. The fancy 9-inch touchscreen, the push start-stop button, the driver's seat height, which is non-adjustable and a first for me. And of course, the 4x4. So if you guys have watched the videos on my channel, we struggled a lot in snow when we were in Kashmir, and I was there with my family, with my kid. I felt a little insecure, and that was the time I decided I got to get a 4WD. This is also the first car in the family which has all the 4WD gadgets and livery. So final verdict, should you get this car, should you not? The car, in spite of its cons, some drawbacks, has the ability to put a wide grin on your face when you take it out for a spin. The biggest drawback or disadvantage, which I did not cover in this review, is that when you take this out, especially on city traffic, the fuel efficiency numbers are going to be drastically low. And the reason? You have to roll down your windows and answer a lot of questions. How is this car performing? How is this? How is that? And in my 3 weeks of ownership, I've been asked tons of questions, all in city signals, being stopped on city signals. How is this car doing? What is this car? What is this color? You get a lot of attention with this car. And trust me, it is an eye candy. Get used to waving, saying hi, hello when you are inside this car, because you truly feel like a superstar on a red carpet while driving this car.
Sometimes the best form of love is not love at first sight, but when love slowly grows on you, and Jimny is nothing but this.
With this, we end this vlog on a loving note, and we hope to see you guys very soon. We are slated to travel next week, and hopefully this gets to be driven around on hillocks.
If you like this video, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Triple Carry. Stay happy. Bye.